Hello, everybody. Oh my goodness, I tried to make a new thumbnail and it went on and went to live, so I'm sorry. So, hello, everybody. For those of you who do not know me, you kind of hopped onto this YouTube channel and you don't really know who is this girl? Who is this lady talking to me? Well, my name is Tina, and I am a homeschooling consultant and a health and wellness coach. My expertise or specialties are not only helping you on your homeschool journey with customized plans for your unique homeschool, but also talking with you about the struggles of having a child that has a learning difference, and also the ups and downs, and also the many accomplishments that our lovely kiddos can have despite having a learning difference, and how emotions play a big part in that as well. So today I am going to be talking to you about homeschooling dyslexia. That is a topic that is near and dear to many homeschoolers' hearts and minds. That is a constant challenge. It's a constant emotional struggle, to say the least, when you have a child that you know is perfectly brilliant. It's just that they just don't understand the way everyone else does. And it can be very emotional for them, and it can be very emotional for the parent who is trying to homeschool a child with this learning difference. Because guess what? I have a child that has that unique learning difference, and I am learning a lot from him every step of the way of how his unique brain works. I wish it was some way that I can kind of like get in there and really, because I love the way his perception on things. He makes me sit back and have realization of things that I never even thought about. But like, let me just go ahead and get back on topic because I'm going on a tangent and I'm sorry. What we're going to talk about today is what can you actually expect as being a parent who is homeschooling a child with dyslexia. And these are some things that I personally, hello, Mental Mom. These are some things that I personally have found to be truly beneficial in my homeschool, with our unique way of trying to conquer this in a positive way. And trust me, it's been ups and downs over the whole entire process. So I'm going to share some tips with you just in case you know someone that has a child with dyslexia, that has a complete diagnosis, and then you may be a parent out there that have some inklings or some reservations, saying that you think deep down in your heart and your gut, you like, I know my child has not been tested for dyslexia, but yet my child has dyslexic tendencies that I feel are relevant, and that's why I'm saying my child has dyslexia based on all the signs and the symptoms that my child exhibits. So I feel like my child has dyslexia, because many of us are like that out there, feel that way. This is a really touchy subject, so this is just my perception on some things. There are basically two different things that you can do with a child that has dyslexia, because it's various different levels of dyslexia, just like it's various different levels of sickness. Some people are mild, moderate, severe, extremely severe. The same case with dyslexia. It's different variations of the exact same diagnosis, exact same learning difference. Okay, one thing I want you guys to understand is that dyslexia, sometimes as parents, we become very concerned when we see what so-called normal children do at their age and in their grade level. We become so overly concerned to the point that it runs us crazy when we see that our child is not at this certain point, at this certain age, at this certain time point where someone else is. What you have to realize is, with a child with dyslexia, they grow in a different way, in the aspect of when they're going to hit certain milestones. And some kids are a little bit faster than others, some kids are a little bit delayed. any case may be, one thing that I have learned about all dyslexic children, despite where they are at in that bracket, is that they're all amazing, and every single one of them have a unique, special gift that they're absolutely good at. And maybe just because they're not good at spelling, or maybe because they can't do the writing like they would like to do, or read as fluent as you would like them to, or even read at all. We kind of like, as parents, hone in on what they can't do so much because we want them to be able to do it, that we stop thinking about all the other things that they're amazing in, and that they can do. So one thing I want to encourage you to do is, yes, you're concerned about your child may not be able to read yet, or may not be able to read as fluently, or may not even be able to spell past three letter words or four-letter words, or may not be able to do the same thing another child that is the exact same age, that same grade level can do. But yet your child is absolutely amazing and advanced and this, that, and it. Really let them see how amazing they are in other things. And then also make sure that you change the way you talk to them in reference to what they currently cannot do well, because you don't want to create an environment where they feel less than of, or feel like they're broken, because they're not broken. It's just that we and our system is not equipped to teach such a unique learner, so we have to outsource and try to find other help. So every homeschooler that has a child that has a learning difference going to get to a crossroad when they're going to have to determine, with all the help or resources that they have done, and if it's not working or it didn't work enough, you're going to have to be the one to gauge that. We all have to come at this point at some time where we decide on whether we should remediate, which just simply means that we're going to keep reiterating, redoing, refocusing on past learned concepts. Are we going to do that to help them, like kind of like catch up, so to speak? Or are we going to start changing into the mind frame of helping that child with their unique learning style, with dyslexia and learning difference, help them to be able to compensate? And a lot of people, when you mention this whole thing, maybe someone never even mentioned to you, when you start mentioning compensate a child that has dyslexia, they look at it as an escape goal or a way out. Or maybe you took the easy way out. But I'm going to tell you that is not the case, because different levels of dyslexia requires different measures in order to accommodate that unique learning difference. So let me bring it to you. Sometimes when you have a child that has a learning difference, you can do remediation. Like I said before, you can go back and you can constantly redo past learned concepts they may have forgotten or they may have lost within a certain time period. So you're constantly going back, reiterating, readjusting, readapting, trying to help them get back to the point that they were at, and then gradually progress to a level that they're not at. And then you kind of like going through the process. If that has been your only way of homeschooling your dyslexic child and you're not getting anywhere, hey, if you're not getting anywhere with that method, then maybe you should consider the compensation um method. And basically, that what that is that you as a parent is providing a means of tools and resources that are going to help your child with dyslexia navigate themselves through this thing we call life. So a compensation method or tool would be, for example, would be like having an app that they can actually talk to, and it actually write the text out, and then they then in turn take that and write it down on paper. That is a compensation. That is something that is going to accommodate their learning difference. And say for example, you are doing let me see, I had some notes on it. You're trying to master some skill dealing with spelling, writing, or reading. Accommodation for reading, that with a child with a learning difference like dyslexia will be an audio book. Instead of having your child read the book, you give your child the audio book. That's an accommodation. Say, for example, your child is not good with writing, getting their thoughts down on paper. That is in the family of dyslexia too. But it also, when it's more profound, it graduates on over to dysgraphia. But it falls into the same umbrella tier up under dyslexia when they can't put their thought to paper and write it down. And it deals with spelling too. So, say for example, you get an educational DVD that calls out the spelling words and they can hear it and they have to copy them down. Or maybe you use a curriculum that is copying stuff down. That is an accommodation. That is something that you're giving your child a tool in order to help them. Or say for example, you they have a cell phone or electronic device and you actually add on a app or something that actually help spell or read out loud to them or highlight things certain for them to get the point. It's nothing wrong. It's not anything wrong with you doing that, because at a certain point when you have a child that has a learning difference and you notice that they're not reaching the milestones that you have anticipated they should have met at that time, it's nothing wrong with starting to add in some of those resources so that they can see how they can totally adapt to what's so-called normal life. And just because they have a learning difference, you're teaching them life skills, you're teaching them logic, you're teaching them be able to overcome and don't allow their learning difference to consume them and to absorb them and make them feel less than because we have so many tools, so many resources that are available to us now that wasn't 10 or 15 years ago, that we can use for absolutely free or for a discounted or for a lower price, that we can make our children or give our children a platform of positivity and make them independent by using the tools that are available. So I do both. I use a little bit of A, a little bit of B. And I feel like I will always have to do some of that with my son because he has dyslexia. And it depends on what we are doing that determines what resource I need to use at that particular time. One thing that has been a total game changer for me has been the apps that he can actually talk to, and it will actually type it out, and he will actually transfer all his thoughts, all the things that he couldn't express because he can't remember how to spell every single word. He's spelling way better than he used to, but still some things of how he expressed himself, and he's an excellent storyteller. And so that helps him, that leverage the playing field, so to speak. And instead of him writing everything out, I adapt. I let him type it out, which helps out a whole lot more. And he's not thinking about his penmanship is not the best that he would like it to be. He's not thinking about that because it's clear, it's precise, and he's typing, and he types very well. So it's things that we can put into place for our dyslexic child that can leverage the playing field. Yes, they may have to use different tools and different methods in order to get to the exact same ending result that we have, but it doesn't matter as long as they get there and you teaching them how to survive, how to have life skills, and how to not allow their learning difference to project their greatness. It's so many different things that they can actually do to get hands on, to that they can adapt, that they can actually use in order to leverage the playing field, so to speak, although they have a learning difference. And they can do amazing, amazing things. There are Grammarly out there that that's like a system. So you do have to pay for it. They do have a free version that helps with making sure you have the correct part of speech and different stuff like that. We have the talking apps. You have Alexa that you can actually talk to and have her spell different things for you. You have audio books that you can use. You have also what I talked about before, remediation, where you can go back and review things more consistently to bring them back to the forefront when you notice that they lose certain concepts. Because despite what you may not know, is a child that has a learning difference, they usually have retention issues. So once they get to a certain point and they're doing great, then you'll notice that they have a regression. That is normal. That just happens. Different variations happen though. Sometimes it's more profound than others. Sometimes it's not as much, and it won't take you that long to get back to where they were at, and then also project or get farther into the lessons. But it just depends on what point they are at. But I just want to let you know there are options, and as a parent, you're the only one that can truly gauge when your dyslexic child needs remediation versus commendation. And I can't tell you that other than if you book a homeschooling consultation with me. I can listen to your story, ask you a couple of questions about your child and their unique learning style, and then I can tell you then what I feel that your option should be then. But just from talking to you like this, I can't. But I do I hate when I do that. I do homeschooling consulting, and I do talk about that because that's near and dear to my heart, because I have a child that has a learning difference. But yet, with all that being said, he is an amazing learner. He's really good at anything that's electronic. So make sure that you really hone in on all the things that they're great at, and be very mindful of the things that they're not great at yet. Make sure that you be as positive as possible. And yes, it can be frustrating when you see a child that is amazing in so many other things, and then you see this one little area that you be like, why can't they do this the way da, 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 da. Well, listen, they can do it in some cases. You just have to figure out the way that they learn. And then in some cases, I'm just going to be honest, they're not going to be able to do certain stuff. Certain stuff they can do with adjustments and accommodations, but then some things we have to make the decision, how we going to leverage this playing field for our kiddos. Are we going to constantly just try to do remediation and we see it's not working, or are we going to give them the tools that we know that's going to help them succeed? It's not a cop out, it's not a failure, it's just that you are preparing your child for life. You are giving them the tools that they need in order to succeed, and it's teaching them how to maneuver through life. It's teaching them life skills, teaching them problem solving, and it's teaching them not to give up. Even though they have a learning difference, there are things out there that they can use, and that's for anything in life. Don't ever let a learning disability or health disability or whatever the case may be stop you from getting to your bottom line, stop you from reaching your goals, because there are things out there that's available that you can use that will totally help you do whatever you want to do. So I hope this video helps those of you who have a child that has dyslexia. Of course, I do have more videos on my channel about this topic. I will revisit this in more detail, because dyslexia is just more than just a reading disability. It's way more it has way more facets into it. It has, thank you Monumental Mom, it's way deeper than just a reading disability. Most people feel like oh, you have dyslexia, that's because you can't read. No, it's more than just that. It's more than just a reading difference or a reading disability. It involves your brain, it involves concentration, it involves reading, it involves writing, it involves even active motion. It involves the way that they perceive things, visual cues. It involves directions, the way that a child take directions. It involves the way that they it involves so many different things in dyslexia, and it's more than just reading. It's a branch off. Yes, dyslexia is the umbrella, but up under the umbrella is a whole lot of different branches that falls with that, and it includes writing too, and the way that they process memory, and it also involves sensory. things, and big thing it involves is emotions. So I am, if I have some time, I will try to go back and revisit this topic so that you can know that it's more than just reading that involves dyslexia. It's way, way more deeper. And maybe once you understand how deep that topic really is, it'll help you have a better perspective on how you can address it in your unique homeschool, because then you have the tools in which you know that, hey, it's not just reading. And the thing is, yes, it involves reading, but think about it. It's gonna kind of like go over or spill over in other areas of life and subjects, because guess what? Reading, spelling, writing, the emotional aspect happens in every single topic. It happens in life. So it's just more than just a reading thing. And so I will go into detail about that a little bit later if I don't forget. But anyway, I am going to be going live every single day on a topic, and just stay tuned. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for all the ones who watched live. When you watch the replay, please put #replay and let me know where you're tuning in from so I can connect with you. I hope this information has proven or have helped you, or you saw some kind of value in it. And I hope that this really lessen your stress and anxiety in reference to dyslexia, because it can really be a challenging situation, to say the least. But stay tuned for our Fun Fridays, and keep in mind that we are also doing giveaways every single week here on Homeschooling and Oils for the month of December. And also I am collaborating in the future with Monumental Mom on a mom swap curriculum type giveaway. You saw my son in there getting the food pot. And she actually has a giveaway going on right now over there. So I encourage you to go over there and subscribe. Also, Educator Academy, she's going to start doing some amazing things over there as well. If you want to know about game schooling, she's not a total game schooler. However, she does a lot of game reviews. So if you want to know more things about educational games and stuff like that, you can go over there and check her channel out. She even has a couple stories that she read out loud. So if you have some kiddos that you want to have like a free audio book by the amazing Chantel at Educator Academy, go over there and listen to her video where she's actually reading and showing an amazing book, a cute little book for our young children. So I will talk to you guys later, and thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Maybe I'll talk about something lighthearted, because that was too serious. It was too serious, wasn't it? I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.